come to speak at this banquet, and if you can, and if you answer that question, I know you met Dabo a couple years ago at Yankee Stadium. Just talk about that relationship.
Marty Clary, who was a teammate of mine, gave me a call and told me that Clemson was interested. We played at Northwestern a long time ago together, and he played basketball and baseball there and was very successful and asked me to do it, and I was thrilled because I love the college life in a sense, the campuses and just what the young people do, and they bring life, and I was very excited to see the campus because of all the success that they've had here.
Joe, you coached Mike Messina, I think, for a year, and also, of course, Mo Rivera. Caught for him and coached him, and both those guys voted into the Hall of Fame last week. Mo, the first ever unanimous selection. What was it like to catch for him and also to coach him?
You know, people ask me what it was like to catch Mo. Mo was the easiest guy I ever caught because he never missed a spot. In all the years I caught Mo, I mean, it was in 4 different years, never had to block a ball. There were never any base runners. I mean, he just did his job better than anybody else with a tremendous amount of humility and class. So it was enjoyable. And, you know, when Mo came in through those doors, you knew the game was over. And that's a pretty good feeling when you're a player or a coach.
And Coach, what do you want to tell all the students here, all the attendees?
The importance of these 4 years in their life and how the relationships that they're going to make during these 4 years is going to be the support system for them the rest of their lives. The importance of being a student athlete and how the athlete teaches you so many different things, and the student, you know, is going to help you financially the rest of your life. But, you know, I think about the struggles that I've had in my life over the years. The people were there were my college teammates, and how enjoyable that 4 years was for me. And don't take for granted what you're going through.
Joe, I think you caught for Jimmy Key in '96 with the Yankees. What do you remember about him? He was a big star.
Clever. He was clever. Loved catching him. Wonderful guy. Irritated Wade Boggs better than anyone I've ever met. But he was fun to catch. And you know, you think about Jimmy Key. He wiped, right? To change pitches. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'd still be adding and subtracting, and he was on his way to home. So that I always found that to be kind of, you know, interesting. But I loved catching him. Fierce competitor as well. Wonderful family, and my wife and his wife were friends, so it was great.
How did he irritate Wade? Just with his pitching or with his personality?
No, with all Wade's superstitions and the things that he would do to his locker. And they once went turkey hunting, and Jimmy took Wade, and they didn't see any turkeys in New York, and they're all over the place up there. And Boggsy was yelling at him and screaming at him that it was a waste of a day. And Jimmy Key the next day had a frozen turkey in his locker, so he knew how to get him.
If reports are to be believed, you turned down the Reds job, talked to the Rangers, not running Joe Madden out of town, but you came up with the Cubs. If that opportunity ever presented itself, is that a place you'd like to go?
Well, I think all jobs really interest me because I do want to manage again. And you know, there's timing in life that is really important to me, and my family always comes first. But I do want to manage again. My kids want me to manage again. My wife wants me to manage again. So I'm pretty lucky.
What makes Chicago and that Cubs franchise so special?
Well, I think it's the fans, the tradition there. I grew up a Cubs fan as a kid, going to games as a little boy. One of the neatest parts about that was I got a chance to meet my childhood heroes when I played with the Cubs. And that was pretty special for me. Ron Santo and Jose Curtin.
Joe, in your over 10 years of being a manager, I guess how familiar and where were you of the Clemson program and all the major league prospects that they had during that time?
Oh, I knew it was good. It was good when I played. When we used to, when I was a player at Northwestern, and they had quality teams back in the 80s when I was in college, and the success that they've had here, you know. And I said to them, why not you guys this year? Why not? Go win a national title. Go do it. You're a very talented group. You got a great coach. You got a great facility that's going to help you get better every day. Go win.
Monte, how do you react to having a guy like this here? Do you try to pick his brain or just enjoy it?
Well, I mean, I think that I'd have to keep Joe here for for quite some time past today, to be able to pick his brain the way that I would like to as a baseball man. Obviously, with his experience, all the things that he's been through as a big league manager, as a major league player, all the great relationships that he's developed over the years, and just how much he's learned. I can spend days talking baseball with him, I'm sure. But the one thing that I'm so grateful for is being able to get him here to hear his message, not only to get our fan base excited about the upcoming season, but to teach our young men in our program some really valuable life lessons. Just his talk tonight about leadership, about loving each other, about being selfless, being a great teammate, holding each other accountable. Just a lot of the same things that we talk about, but it certainly means a lot when it comes from someone of his stature who has done it at a high level, at the highest level as a player and as a manager. So it was what an unbelievable night for our players, their parents, the fan base. Very grateful that we were able to get Joe here to speak tonight.
Joe, you've mentioned that you like spending time with your wife and your kids. Stevie's been good for you. But it gets to be this time of year. Do you hear the ball hitting the mitt, hear the sound of the spikes on the concrete, want to get back into it?
April, not spring training. I don't miss spring training as a coach. I really don't, because it seemed like the only thing I did was cut players, right? And then you feel like you're the Grim Reaper, like once a week you're cutting players and you're crushing dreams. And there's kids that come to spring training that know they're not going to be there during the course. They're not going to make the team out of spring training. They might be out of A-ball in spring, but they still want to be there, and you just feel bad. So to me, I always look forward to the season start. As a player, I love spring training, right? Because it's the only time you could get your work in and have it back, so it didn't count, in a sense. But as manager, I don't like being the Grim Reaper.
Joe, Clemson was like a lot of major league teams last year in that the starting pitchers didn't go very deep into games. What were your thoughts on that kind of growing trend in baseball?
I think you do whatever it takes to win. So if you got starters that can go deep, you let them go deep. If you got a bullpen that is locked and loaded and your starters don't go deep, you use that to your advantage. And I think there's so much emphasis on power now and how successful power has been that a lot of teams are doing that. And teams aren't seeing guys, for 2 and 3 at-bats, and they're able to get through games. And to me, whatever it takes to win a game, you do. And whatever your club you have, that's what you do.
Did you invite Dabo to the Yankee Stadium a couple of years ago? Or
He was there.
He was just there.
ACC coaches come around all the time, and I tell you what, that was a huge thrill for me. I'm a helmet collector, football helmet, because college football is my passion. I absolutely love it and look forward to every Saturday watching games and what goes on. And he brought a helmet and he signed it to my daughter Lena, who was at the time in 4th grade, and put BYOG on the paws, and really special. Just a wonderful man.
What were your thoughts on the national championship game, and also having a Clemson transfer at quarterback for Northwestern guys next year?
Well, I'm excited about that for Northwestern. I really am. And, Clemson proved that they were the best. And obviously they're very talented. But to me, I loved what the big 3 linemen did, how they came back, and how they understood the importance of and how enjoyable college was, and playing together as a team and having a goal and sacrificing certain things. And the freshman quarterback came in and they embraced him. And that was kind of my word to the freshmen. Hey, you never know when your opportunity is going to come. You might win the biggest game of the year, so you need to be prepared. And the upperclassmen embrace them. And it's amazing. The rivalry that is developing between Clemson and Alabama is amazing. Would any of us be surprised if those 2 were there again next year? Absolutely not. But it's great football, and I love watching it. I look forward to it every year. And this just seems like a great place. Come to school, be a fan. I look at the football stadium and it goes straight up, right? And it just looks like a great place.